Welcome back to the podcast called Tell the World, and I'm your host. I hope you guys are having a happy Monday. Are you happy? Are you happy? Today we'll talk about inspiration, y'all. Inspiration. Um, and I'll talk about my inspiration with how I started this podcast. Um, During that time, I was living in LA, and something came up on me, man, to do it. I was getting a lot of inspiration, especially out there in LA. I was getting a lot of inspiration. I wasn't getting bad inspiration out of LA. I was getting good inspiration because I was around a lot of people that were diverse with a lot of ideas, a lot of creativity, and just a lot of things. So, uh, I knew when I was going to start a podcast, I knew I needed things, so I started researching things that I would need, and I knew I needed artwork, and I didn't know how to go about getting it. And then I had people doing artwork for me, but the artwork that they were doing wasn't quite the artwork that was fitting my podcast. This was out there in LA at that time. And I've given opportunities for people to give me designs, and that's what I did, and I paid. And I came across this young lady in, I believe she stayed in North Carolina. Her name was Haley. Haley. It was Haley. And I saw what she did for D Nice, the rapper D Nice, and I got in contact with her, and it took off from there. But let me go back with the first artwork. Damn. So the first artwork I had, there was a guy that I worked with. He had one night sent me some artwork, and I was like, "Damn, thanks, Ray." And before I knew it, I got the work, and I said, "Hey, Ray, thanks for the artwork. Thanks for doing that, man." He said, "What you mean with artwork?" I said, "The artwork that you did for me." He said, "I didn't do any artwork for you." I said, "Yeah, you did." He said, "No, I didn't." I said, "Yeah, you did." And I ended up showing him what he sent me. He said, "Oh, snap." He said, "I forgot. I did do this." He said, he said he was doing some mushrooms, something like that, and he had some inspiration. He had some inspiration off of one of my pictures, and he did me a piece of artwork, and it was called "Tell the World Podcast Los Angeles." Man, dope artwork. So that's how it started off right there. And then I got all the stuff that I needed, like my microphones. I needed an audio interface. And I knew I needed a laptop too at that time because, it was just the thing to have um, at that time. And now you can do these things off your cell phone. So it's even better. So, yeah. So uh, I'm able to do it off of my audio interfaces, and I'm able to do it off of anything that I got. Phones, audio interfaces, cheap ones, expensive ones. I've got it all. And I've got all these mics too, y'all. So I got a lot of stuff that I can just do a show, do a setup, you know. And once I got everything, and I had to teach myself how to use it. Uh, had to do some samples of doing audio, and then do some playback to hear my voice to make sure it sound clear. Like having these mics right here, y'all. You see that? Uh, these are those Roder. Is it Roder or Rode? Whatever. But I got the audio interface Rode, and I got also the wireless mics to use. So um, that's good to have too. I could just plug this up and just do a show like I'm doing now, or I could work with two people and do two shows, and not two shows, but do um, two interviews with two people. Like we interact with each other. So they give you this case here, and they give you the extra mic you can clamp on, and go from there. So it was worth it. And I took off from there. And I had a banner made, and one time I was looking for my first banner to be made, and they were charging me like $800. So I said, I'll pay it. So I contacted this person because I saw that they did graphics designs, and I saw the location where the company was at. I went there, and as soon as I went there, y'all, it was like, okay, I see the building, but where the customers, uh, where the people are at, I don't I don't see anybody. That's how it was. And anyway, I set up the appointment, and I contacted the guy probably about 2 days later. He said, "Yeah, meet me here at this address here, and we'll get you going." Well, the address he gave me wasn't the address I found. So I was actually going to his home, and I wasn't sure about going into the house because he was just waving out the door. And I'm like, man, I can't go in there, man, because that looked like the back door setup. So I end up not going, and I came across this other site called Signs. I think it's called Signs, and they specialize in banners. And a friend of mine, he told me what size I should put it in, and it was like do it 40 by, I don't know the other measurement, but he gave me the measurements, did the banner, took off from there, y'all, with the banner. I set it up, and everything was gravy. Now let's go back to the young lady named Haley. So slowly I was doing shows, and then I wanted to beef up my artwork, like get, more artwork. And I appreciate Ray for doing that because he didn't have to do it. So thank Ray and thank those mushrooms. And so this lady, young lady, had did some artwork for D Nice during the pandemic, and I was off into his album, and I saw some artwork that looked kind of dope, and I saw her name tagged on it, and I contacted her, and she did some beautiful artwork for me, and then I went back to her the second time for more artwork. She did some more artwork for me, and so I was like, yeah, I'm hooked. I'm with her because she did dope artwork. But the shit worked out, and I took off from that. Now, at the time, I was needing help from folks, and this is where you go through some things with, asking for help. Because sometimes people may not come through like they say they will, but at the same time, it's still part of the lesson of growing. So that's what I did. I just took it upon myself to research, learn, uh, especially when I was trying to get my podcast on iTunes. I had to understand the artwork, the measurements, so they can get my first episode, so they could, listen to it and make sure that I passed the criterias, the artwork, measurement, and the audio episode I sent. Once I got the measurements down, took about a week or two, but I kept pushing on, pushing through. I didn't give up, and boom, bam, shit worked. Went through, they accepted me, they accepted my podcast, got on there. From there, I got on other outlets like Spotify, got on iHeart, got on Amazon. But trust me, it seems like your superpowers kick in and results happen when you put in the work yourself first. You got to put your work in first. It was tough. It was hard. I felt like giving up sometimes, but that's part of life. It's going to drill you. But if you're not learning nothing, then you're not trying to, pursue what you're trying to do. So with me learning all that stuff there, I kept pursuing. I kept learning, and I kept getting better results out of just keep learning and teaching myself to do these things to make it all come to life. And that's what I did. I brought it all to life. So uh, I'll tell anybody with a podcast, when you build a podcast, you do have to be consistent. You do have to find your niche. My podcast is based on everything, every subject, every matter, funny stuff, humor, all of that stuff. So I don't like to stay just one way. I know some people like, well, what's your podcast about? Well, it says Tell the World Podcast. It's about everything. It's conversation. It's talks about anything. But make sure that it's good to talk about and make sure it's clean because respectfully, that's how I want to carry myself. And them lights, I don't mind like having fun and joking and stuff because you got to have humor in life. But that's what I did. And one time, y'all, I was gonna boost this podcast even more because I was gonna ask Shaquille O'Neal would he come on my podcast and just come on my show, or better yet, could you just give me a shout out by just saying, "Welcome to the podcast called Tell the World." You heard it first from Shaquille O'Neal or for Shizzo, Shaq. But and I had the opportunity to do it many times because I was always running into him. And when you get opportunity, don't be scared. Do it. Trust me. Ask. It don't hurt to ask. So just ask. So I was doing a lot of great things, and I'm still doing a lot of great things. Now look, it slowed up a bit, but all of a sudden it picked up. Slowed up a bit, but it picked up, y'all. Sometimes you have to pull back and say what you're trying to create, what you're trying to build. And sometimes you may go through some things in life and you're trying to get your thoughts together, you're trying to get your life together, you're trying to maintain life, trying to stay cool, right? And keep from being this way. But yeah, and I'm blessed right now. I know y'all saw my new studio set up, and I couldn't have done it without some special help and everything, y'all. It's like, I'm really blessed for that. And as of last year, the end of last year, I just created an LLC of my podcast. So I'm good with that because I was serious about it. But my levels just went up with just study learning, study pushing. I'm not looking for the numbers, you know. I'm looking for my service I provide. I'm looking for communication with others, teaching things, learning things, and just growing, just information. And so, you know, whatever direction it leads me into, that's the way it's going to be. Remember, never be in a rush. Take your time, learn your craft, and just keep pushing through. I know you guys heard it before, but sometimes people will leave a lot of stuff stored in their garages or somewhere in the shack somewhere or storage where when you go in people's storage places, sometimes you see that they started something and then they never finish, you know. So sometimes in life, you see that people do have dreams, right? Right? People do have dreams. And so when people have dreams, sometimes they put them on hold for a time, and sometimes people do put it on hold permanently. It is just something that can be passed down to somebody else. But at the same time, y'all, the time and the passion is right now to pursue and to do the things that you love. So you got to keep pushing through, keep trying to revamp, recreate yourself, and networking is real important, y'all. Networking and also learning from somebody else that cares about you and showing you the ropes. Because somewhere in life, something's connected to you, something's connected to your journey that can make your journey the best ever. So put that in mind too about yourself that don't think one dimensional, like this is it, this is done. There's a lot, about you that you haven't even saw, your star power. Um, but I'm so proud of the studio. I've gotten everything that I need, and we're just dropping episodes. I thought I would drop out this episode just to say, motivating yourself, don't give up. What motivated me? My motivation came with inspiration. Something came over me, like speaking to me. Really speaking to me. And it wasn't just once, it was lots of times. It was something telling me, you know, inspiring me to do it. And I could feel it because it's like, damn, you feel something on you telling you you can do it. You can do it. You can build it. It will come. Build it. It will come. And that's what happened, y'all. I built it. and it got better. It got better. Got better. Never look for numbers. Build yourself. Be unique. Be yourself. And if nobody appreciate it, shit, fuck them. Fuck them. Keep pushing. Keep moving, and be what inspires you to be. What it inspired you to be. Well, like, share, and subscribe, y'all. Um, I'll end it like that, and I'll be bringing more motivational things to say. Real life stories, man. Real shit. I got lots of stories. I got same stories, and sometimes sharing these same stories needs to reach new people. Reach new people. People who want to grow. People who trying to get out the mud with things. Trust me. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. You heard it first.